biggest dinosaur. Sharp teeth, supreme ferocity, and monumental bodies? There's no doubt we're talking about dinosaurs. Do you know which was the biggest dinosaur ever? During decades, a lot of people speculated that it was the argentinosaurus who held the title. However, its kingdom has come to an end because there has been discovered a dinosaur with measures never seen before. Join us in this discovery. Giants between giants. It's said that being a big dinosaur was a great compliment. Let's remember that during the times these creatures walked the earth, creatures such as tyrannosaurus were a big threat. Despite of this, there was a species that surpassed each size of dinosaur. This one was called the Patagotitan maiorum. Its name is enough to tell us that this was a colossal creature. Casual encounters. This gigantic specimen was found in the Patagonia in 2008 by a rural farmer while he was riding his horse. He found a huge femur on his land, but it wasn't until 6 years later, in 2014, when he started the excavation of the giant's fossils to examine them. He surprised a lot of people when he showed the huge dimensions of what later would be the biggest dinosaur to date. How big were they? When it comes to the size, after analyzing the fossils of this magnificent creature, it was determined that this animal would have an extension of 131 feet from its head to the end of its tail. However, this wouldn't be all, because thanks to modern technology, it's estimated that this dinosaur's weight would be around 70 tons, which compares to the weight of 14 African elephants. These characteristics gave it the title, by a lot, of the biggest terrestrial creature that has ever existed, even 10% bigger than past title holder, the argentinosaurus. A millennial creature. According to the age of the fossils, it was determined that this species lived approximately 100 million years ago, which means it lived in the last period of the Jurassic era, also known as the Cretaceous period. This was the time where dinosaurs peaked in diversity of species. Just to give an example, this animal lived at the same time as the Tyrannosaurus rex. And despite of this, the encounter of this species never happened because they were located in different and far geographic areas. Who wouldn't like to think in a fight between the biggest versus the most famous dinosaur? Big from any perspective. Physically, this sauropod was characterized by being a quadruped with a really long tail, same as its neck, that reached up to 39.4 feet in height. On the other hand, it had a really small head in comparison to its body. Even if its sizes could make any other creature feel threatened, this was an herbivore dinosaur that probably had a really quiet nature because there wouldn't be a creature brave enough to fight it. However, it was able to push back any threat with its huge tail that was used as a whip. Giant zone. Even though its fossils were buried for millions of years, they are in a perfect preservation state, which helps further investigations about the kind of animals that inhabit that zone in the Patagonia. Because in this specific area, there has been found other gigantic species that could indicate that there were other huge dinosaurs living in this environment where there was plenty of vegetation, which meant a lot of food for these colossal creatures. These studies indicate that these lands are one of the most important places on Earth for paleontology. An accompanied titan. When it comes to its behavior, this species, as the majority of herbivores, was a really quiet and sociable creature because it normally lived and reproduced in herds. This was discovered because of the great quantity of different bones found. This means that this was a very united species. At the same time, they were really careful with their eggs because they could have had up to 40 eggs in the same nest. However, this wasn't surprising, since the mothers usually used leaves from trees to maintain a warm incubation. On the other hand, the babies were born with the almost immediate ability to walk after going out of the egg. This capacity is the same as the ostrich's babies. It was probably that they united in groups to defend themselves from predators. This wasn't a great danger, since these dinosaurs grew up really fast at the beginning of their lives. It's also worth mentioning that they lived about 50 years, enough time to reach a huge size. A mystery death. When the first Patagotitan was found, there were also 7 more of its kind in the same place, which makes us wonder about their death because it's hardly possible that this was caused by predators. But the most consistent theory says that these were affected by great floods caused by the nearby rivers. Because of the little time it has passed since the discovery of this creature, we still don't have enough information about their lifestyle. Because of this, This species could be appreciated in the American Museum of Natural History in New York, where you can find an exact replica made of 220 plaster bones. If this colossal creature surprised you, give us the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. See you next time!